Welcome to True Crime Pulse, where we dive deep into the world's most chilling and baffling crime cases. In this episode, we bring you the haunting story of Bethany Montauk, a beloved high school English teacher whose promising life was abruptly stolen in a shocking act of murder. Join us as we uncover the hidden secrets and startling revelations leading to her tragic end. Bethany Montauk, 36, was known for her dedication and creativity as a teacher in Wilmington, Delaware. She was admired by students and colleagues alike, and her passion for teaching was matched only by her love of wine and the local vineyards. But despite her success and resilience, Bethany's life was far from simple. Struggling with financial burdens and a difficult marriage, she worked evenings as a sommelier in a high-end restaurant, where her expertise in wine shone as brightly as her kindness in the classroom. April 2002 was supposed to be an exciting time for Bethany as she prepared for a prestigious education conference in New York City, a chance to bring new insights to her students. But tragically, Bethany would never make it. On April 10th, her lifeless body was found in her Wilmington home, launching a murder investigation that would captivate the community and expose a hidden side to her life no one could have predicted. Neighbors and friends were devastated, left searching for answers as the local media covered every development. In the aftermath, Wilmington held candlelight vigils and fundraisers in her honor as a once peaceful community grappled with an unimaginable loss. Today we unravel Bethany's story and the web of secrets that led to her untimely death, a case that remains etched in the minds of all who remember her. As the investigation progressed, the police kept the specifics surrounding Bethany Montauk's murder under wraps, fueling a wave of speculation throughout the community. Rumors swirled like autumn leaves caught in a gust of wind, with some whispering that the crime was the result of a botched robbery gone awry, while others suspected it was a premeditated attack targeting the beloved teacher. The palpable sense of uncertainty and fear that enveloped the neighborhood left residents anxious as they pondered the identity of someone capable of committing such a horrific act against a cherished member of their community. Upon the grim discovery of Bethany's lifeless body, the police wasted no time in launching a thorough investigation. On that fateful April day in 2002, investigators arrived at the Montauk residence with a sense of urgency, driven by the imperative to uncover the truth behind this heinous crime. Leading the charge were Detective Sarah Anders and her husband, Detective James Anders, a renowned husband and wife duo within the Wilmington Police Department, celebrated for their meticulous and methodical approach to criminal investigations. With steadfast determination, they aimed to bring justice to Bethany and her devastated family. As they stepped into the crime scene, an oppressive sense of foreboding lingered in the air. The Montauk residence, once filled with warmth, laughter, and the hum of everyday life, now stood as a haunting monument to the tragedy that had occurred within its walls. The investigators systematically scrutinized their surroundings, documenting every detail that could lead them closer to the truth. Traces of blood marred the walls and floors, stark reminders of the violence that had unfolded, while signs of a struggle were evident. Overturned furniture and shattered glass littered the room like a chaotic puzzle awaiting resolution. It was unmistakable that Bethany had fought valiantly for her life, leaving behind a harrowing scene for the detectives to decipher. Among the chaos, one piece of evidence captured their attention, a seemingly innocuous glass of Chardonnay wine. The investigators theorized that this innocent-looking beverage might have played a sinister role in the crime, suspecting it to be the murder weapon. Analysis would later reveal the presence of a toxic substance, deadly cyanide, a potent poison capable of swiftly extinguishing a life. With a keen eye for detail, the investigators collected every possible clue, ensuring that no evidence went overlooked. They dusted surfaces for fingerprints, meticulously bagged and labeled potential evidence, and captured photographs of the crime scene from every conceivable angle. The room was combed with the utmost precision, as the detectives sought any trace of the perpetrator, any hint that would bring them closer to unraveling this chilling mystery. As the investigation unfolded, the detectives reached out to forensic science experts, employing advanced techniques to analyze the wine glass for DNA, fingerprints, and any other trace evidence that could establish a link between the killer and the crime. The clock was ticking, and the pressure to solve the case mounted with each passing day. The murder of Bethany Montauk captivated the local community, drawing widespread media attention. News outlets, including the Wilmington Gazette and the Delaware Times, diligently reported on the investigation's progress, keeping the public informed and engaged in the quest for justice. With each day that passed, the detectives inched closer to uncovering the truth behind Bethany's tragic demise. They understood that time was of the essence and felt an unwavering resolve to hold the perpetrator accountable. As their investigation into the shocking murder of the beloved high school English teacher deepened, the focus shifted toward her husband, Mark Anthony Montauk. Mark, a 38-year-old investment banker, projected an image of success and respectability, but beneath his bland exterior lay a tangled web of secrets. Detectives Sarah and James Anders harbored suspicions that Mark may have had a motive to eliminate Bethany. It came to light that he had taken out a life insurance policy on his wife worth an astonishing $300,000, an unsettling detail that piqued the detectives' interest and prompted them to dig deeper into his financial motivations. During the intense interrogation, Mark's demeanor fluctuated dramatically between anger and calmness as he vehemently denied any involvement in his wife's murder. The detectives expertly probed his alibi, meticulously scrutinizing the events leading up to that fateful day. They established a timeline by gathering evidence from various sources, including interviewing neighbors who reported hearing heated arguments between Mark and Bethany in the weeks prior to her death. The couple's financial records painted a troubling picture of excessive spending coupled with mounting debt. Although Bethany's teaching position was highly regarded, it provided insufficient income to support their lifestyle, prompting her to work as a sommelier to help make ends meet. As the investigation unfolded, the detectives uncovered a disturbing connection between Mark and a local wine distributor. Records revealed that Mark had been purchasing a particular brand of Chardonnay, the same brand discovered at the crime scene. This discovery led investigators to suspect that Mark might have tampered with the wine, potentially lacing it with deadly cyanide. To bolster their case, the detectives enlisted the expertise of forensic specialists. The toxicology report confirmed the presence of cyanide in Bethany's system, strengthening the case against Mark. Additionally, an analysis of Mark's financial records uncovered a series of questionable transactions indicative of a desperate need for money. With the evidence against Mark accumulating rapidly, the investigators remained resolute in their mission to deliver justice for Bethany and her grieving community. Yet, as they delved deeper into the dark labyrinth of secrets surrounding the Montauk marriage, they would soon realize that this case was far more intricate than it initially appeared. Meanwhile, Laura Baskill Groves, a 26-year-old sex education teacher at the same high school where Bethany had taught, emerged as a second suspect in the ongoing investigation. As the investigation into Bethany Montauk's murder unfolded, the Wilmington police maintained an air of silence, refusing to disclose details to the public. This secrecy only fueled speculation in the close-knit community, where Bethany, a beloved high school English teacher, was known for her warmth and dedication. Some locals whispered that it was a robbery gone wrong, a random act of violence against an unsuspecting victim. Others were convinced it was a targeted attack carried out by someone she knew. The uncertainty cast a shadow over the town, and for many, fear and mistrust took hold as they wondered who could commit such a brutal act. On that tragic April day in 2002, Detectives Sarah and James Anders, the city's acclaimed husband and wife investigative team, were assigned to the case. Both seasoned detectives brought years of experience and a meticulous approach that had solved some of Wilmington's most challenging cases. Their arrival at the Montauk residence signaled the gravity of the investigation. As they approached the once vibrant home, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air. The couple's stately suburban house, usually filled with warmth, was now an eerie scene of tragedy and loss. Inside, the scene was gruesome. Signs of a struggle were clear, blood smeared on walls and floors, shards of glass scattered across the room, and overturned furniture pointing to a fierce confrontation. It was immediately apparent to the detectives that Bethany had fought for her life. Yet amid the disarray, a single, seemingly innocent glass of Chardonnay wine caught their attention. Its placement and the circumstances seemed out of place, and they quickly suspected it held a darker significance. Toxicology reports would later confirm their fears, revealing traces of cyanide, a lethal poison capable of quickly ending a life. The detectives meticulously cataloged the scene, carefully collecting fingerprints, bagging evidence, and photographing every angle. They combed through the room with a fine-tooth comb, leaving nothing to chance. Every detail mattered, and Sarah and James worked with forensic experts to ensure no clue went unnoticed. The wine glass, once associated with relaxation and comfort, became a critical piece of evidence, revealing an unsettling truth about the method of Bethany's murder. News of Bethany's tragic death gripped the town, and as updates trickled through media outlets like the Wilmington Gazette and the Delaware Times, residents grew increasingly anxious. Reporters speculated about motives, suspects, and the kind of person who could carry out such a heinous crime. In a community unaccustomed to violent crime, Bethany's death was not just a tragedy, it was a profound shock that disrupted the lives of those who knew her and even those who didn't. The pressure to find answers mounted with each passing day, driving the detectives to dig deeper into Bethany's life. Soon, suspicion turned toward her husband, Mark Montauk. At 38, Mark was known as a successful investment banker who presented himself as the perfect partner to the community's beloved teacher. However, the detectives quickly realized that Mark's life was not as perfect as he portrayed. Beneath his polished exterior lay a web of secrets and financial struggles. Records showed that Mark had recently taken out a $300,000 life insurance policy on Bethany, an eyebrow-raising decision that added weight to the theory that he may have had a financial motive for her death. As detectives questioned him, Mark's reactions fluctuated between anger and calm. At moments, he was defensive and indignant, vehemently denying any involvement, while at others, he tried to appear cooperative and composed. Yet his alibi was shaky, and each attempt to account for his whereabouts only cast more doubt. The detectives scrutinized his every move in the days leading up to the murder, compiling a timeline based on interviews with neighbors and friends. Several neighbors recalled hearing heated arguments between Mark and Bethany, escalating in intensity over recent weeks. The financial records detectives examined painted a picture of mounting debt and pressure, which seemed to burden the couple's marriage. While Bethany's teaching salary was modest, Mark's spending habits had placed them in a precarious financial position, exacerbated by his lavish tastes and strained bank accounts. As they pieced together Mark's web of lies, a disturbing discovery surfaced. Mark had a connection to a local wine distributor. Records indicated that he had recently purchased several bottles of a specific brand of Chardonnay, the same brand found at the crime scene. This link suggested the possibility that Mark could have laced Bethany's wine with cyanide. Forensic tests on the wine glass and bottle confirmed the presence of the poison, leading detectives to believe that Bethany's death had been carefully premeditated. Their suspicions solidified as they uncovered more details about Mark's financial motives and his desperation to escape a marriage that no longer fit his ambitions. But as the detectives dug deeper, they discovered an unexpected lead. Another name surfaced in connection to the Montauks: Laura Baskin-Groves, a 26-year-old teacher and close colleague of Bethany's at the high school. Laura, a sex education instructor, had recently confided in friends about her tumultuous relationship with Bethany, hinting at underlying tension. Further investigation revealed that Laura had been in frequent contact with Mark. The nature of their relationship was unclear, but it raised questions about whether she, too, had a motive or played a role in Bethany's demise. As the investigation continued, the detectives grappled with the tangled web of motives and suspects surrounding Bethany's death. Mark's secrets painted him as a desperate man with mounting debts, a life insurance policy that pointed to potential foul play, and a connection to a suspiciously purchased bottle of Chardonnay. Meanwhile, Laura's involvement hinted at a different facet of the case, suggesting that jealousy or rivalry could have contributed to the crime. Determined to leave no stone unturned, the detectives pursued every possible lead, consulting with forensic experts and working around the clock to find justice for Bethany. The once idyllic community of Wilmington was left reeling, unsure of who they could trust, as the case's secrets continued to unravel. In the end, the detectives would find that the truth behind Bethany Montauk's death was far more complex than they had anticipated, revealing dark secrets hidden just beneath the surface of suburban life. Driven by a toxic blend of greed, fear, and deception, Mark crafted a frantic, twisted plan to prevent Bethany from uncovering his fraudulent life. In a desperate act to silence her forever, he laced a glass of Chardonnay with deadly cyanide, sealing her fate. This betrayal rippled through the community, leaving friends, family, and colleagues in shock. But Mark wasn't acting alone. Another player in this dark tale was Laura Baskin-Groves, a 26-year-old sex education teacher at the same school where Bethany taught. Consumed by hatred and her secret affair with Mark, Laura manipulated him into committing the murder, hoping to eliminate her romantic rival and claim Mark for herself. Using his secrets as leverage, Laura fanned his fears, making him act. Detectives Sarah and James Anders, a dedicated husband and wife team, meticulously pieced together the clues. Their relentless pursuit of justice led to the arrest of both Mark and Laura, unraveling the web of lies and secrets. As Wilmington learned of the arrests, the facade of Mark's successful investment banker life crumbled, revealing a man driven by fear and deceit. Laura's friendly demeanor, too, hid a sinister, calculating mind. The community of Wilmington, stunned by the truth, finally breathed a sigh of relief. Bethany Montauk, a beloved teacher, would be remembered in their hearts, even as they struggled to comprehend the chilling betrayal. In April 2004, the trial riveted Wilmington, Delaware. District Attorney Emil Borko, known for his tenacity, built a compelling case against Mark and Laura, presenting evidence that painted a haunting picture of the crime. Defense attorney Mark J. Castlebreath fought vigorously, highlighting inconsistencies and questioning witness credibility, hoping to sow doubt. The jury listened intently, deliberating over the evidence for hours before reaching their verdict. Finally, the moment arrived that everyone had been waiting for. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the jury foreperson rose to deliver the verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant, Mark Anthony Montauk, guilty of the murder of Bethany Montauk, she announced, her voice steady yet heavy with the weight of the decision. Gasps of disbelief echoed throughout the courtroom as the reality of the verdict sank in. The news was a bitter pill to swallow. The justice they had sought was now tinged with sadness as the finality of the decision settled over them. The sentencing phase began shortly after the guilty verdict was announced. The prosecution argued fiercely for a harsh punishment, citing the brutal nature of the crime and the profound impact it had on Bethany's family and the wider community. The emotional testimonies from Bethany's friends and family painted a picture of a vibrant woman whose life was tragically cut short. Conversely, the defense pleaded for leniency, emphasizing Mark's previously clean criminal record and his potential for rehabilitation. They presented character witnesses who attested to his good nature and contributions to the community, hoping to sway the judge's decision. After careful consideration, the judge handed down the sentence. Mark Montauk would serve a term of 25 years in prison. The courtroom erupted in a mix of emotions, with some expressing relief at the guilty verdict, while others felt that the sentence was too lenient, given the gravity of the crime. As the trial came to a close, the impact of the verdict rippled through the lives of Bethany's friends and family, forever altering their perception of the justice system. They found solace in the fact that Mark would face consequences for his actions, but the pain of their loss would never fully heal. After the trial concluded, the lives of everyone involved in the Bethany Montauk murder case diverged dramatically. The suspects, police investigators, and family members were left to grapple with the aftermath of the heinous crime that shook the tight-knit community of Wilmington, Delaware. Mark Anthony Montauk, the convicted murderer, faced a bleak future in prison, with his once charming persona shattered and his deceitful nature laid bare for all to see. He became a pariah, shunned by the community that had once held him in high regard. The Montauk residence, which had once symbolized a seemingly idyllic life, now stood as a haunting reminder of the tragedy that unfolded within its walls. Laura Baskin-Groves, the co-conspirator in the murder plot, faced a different fate. Her involvement in the crime irrevocably tarnished her reputation as a respected educator, and the revelation of her manipulative actions left her isolated and ostracized from the community she had once been a part of. Seeking redemption, Laura served her 10-month prison sentence and relocated to Orlando, Florida, hoping to start anew and leave behind the dark past that haunted her. But the shadows of her choices lingered, a constant reminder of her betrayal and the life she had destroyed. As the years passed, the scars left by the Bethany Montauk murder case began to heal, albeit slowly. The community gradually moved forward, determined not to let the darkness overshadow their resilience and spirit. They embraced each other in solidarity, vowing to cherish the memories of Bethany, who had touched so many lives with her kindness and dedication. The case served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of valuing the relationships we hold dear. Bethany Montauk's murder stands as a chilling reminder of the depths to which human nature can sink, highlighting the significance of uncovering the truth, no matter how hidden or complex it may be. The lessons learned from this tragedy resonate within the community, ensuring that the memory of Bethany Montauk and the dangers of unchecked ambition and betrayal remain alive in their hearts.